Brooklyn. I'm Brooklyn.
Broadway.
Lexington. Do you like it?
They're all fine names. I guess he'll need one as well now.
Oh, I've got one for him too. Your Bronx.
I think he likes it.
Take my path, never lost. Evil for speed, always bleed. Silent sound, stalking ground. Cemetery run, I'm lost alone.
Hey guys, so Lloyd here, back again with another edition of Throwback Thursdays, and today, number, I want to say 28, right? Yeah, it's the third one of the new year, that makes sense. Today, we are continuing our looks at the Kenner Gargoyles line. Today, taking a look at Lexington. A little shrimp, a little squirt, a little sport of the Manhattan clan, who also happens to be pro-LGBTQ, for those of you who are into that. And that is what Greg Weisman intended. That was an original part of the story, though you really wouldn't know it if you saw the Season 2 episode Turf, which was in like the last dozen or so episodes. You wouldn't get that vibe if you saw that, but it's more clear in the 2006 slave labor graphic comics that, yes, Lexington prefers the company of other males. So, you know, that's whatever. This show predates the quote-unquote woke Olympics of the modern era and is way ahead of its time as far as diversity and all kinds of stuff like that goes. So if that's your thing, if that's what turns you off, gets you off, whatever, then this is the show for you. But getting into the meat and taters of this video, review, whatever you want to call it, there was a variant of this guy, and you're going to see a trend here. Much like the Xanatos, who got the red variant in Series 2, which is quote-unquote the series, I guess. I don't know. I forget who's on the original Wave 1 card back, but I guarantee you most of Series 2 is just Series 1 reissues. This is the Stone Camo variant of Lexington. Same figure from head to tail. Same weapon. The weapon on this guy, ironically, is blue. Missiles are still both yellow. And then he just has this kind of gray color palette going on, as opposed to the traditional kind of olive greens that the regular-looking Lexington has. So nothing really different there. It's just a variant that I have because I have a problem, and I must have all the Gargoyles figures. Have to have the complete collection, as it were. Collect them all, as the card back says. But as far as the regular Lexington goes, this is obviously the one that's more popular because it's the regular version. He comes with a gray crossbow. And again, you could swap them out if you wanted to. But this is as simple as it gets. Press the button, shoots a missile. I drop it on the floor, but I'm able to find it. Pretty gnarly looking missile too. It's got the kind of demon head on it. Well, it's gargoyle head, of course, but there you go. The one thing, though, that I am curious about, and I don't have this piece to confirm this, is I wonder, this is a very obvious kind of peg shape. Does this mount onto the castle playset? Because that would be pretty cool. But unfortunately, I do not have the castle, nor do I have the other vehicle, the Night Striker. I don't think there's room for this to mount on it, though. That said, I am very curious if this peg does fit on the castle playset, because that would be kind of cool. But at any rate, it's just a crossbow. It's got some chains, or is this rope? It looks like chains to me because it's so darn thick. Thick with 2 C's. But here's Lexington. A cool little figure. If you have the neck of Goliath, this actually is pretty good scale. So, you know, if you wanted a Lexington now, I mean, we're getting one. It's been leaked, revealed, whatever you want to call it. he's on the back of the Bronx box along with Brooklyn and Broadway, which I know there's no toy fair, but I cannot wait to see what NECA has to show for this Gargoyles line. It's going to be sick. But if you wanted a Lexington, you didn't want to wait. I don't think this guy's too expensive loose. You just got to make sure you get the tail because it does pop off. Pretty easy. It's just a little peg there. So, you know, be careful. You don't want to buy one without the tail. But tail is articulated. You can rotate it side to side, which is nice because you can actually have it flush against his body and he takes up less room on the shelf. His head moves side to side, which I've actually had 2 of these. I tried to kind of quote-unquote customize my first one, which was fresh off the cards. So arguably that one was a little better, a little nicer. But I tried to give him pupils, and all I wound up doing was giving him giant-ass anime eyes. So your boy's not really good at dotting eyes, clearly. He can't see 2 feet in front of him. This was before that was really a major, major problem. But either way, yeah, that sucked. So I sent that off to my good buddy, Mr. Toy Nuts Brian Starner, Strudelman. And I got this from, I think, Turtle Toy Huntress. This Lexington, this replacement one. So, yeah. It articulates a little bit better here, though. The other one, it didn't feel like it wanted to move. This one, it moves pretty easily, and it's nice and tight, so nothing wrong there. Arms are tight enough. Not too loose. And then the legs are a little weird on this guy because they're connected to his wings, which is how it was in his show, but they were also connected to his arms, so if you really want him to look right, you kind of have to put his arms up like this. So he's doing the Superman. Whee! And then you squeeze his legs and his wings kind of flap. I don't know. I think I would have just preferred if his legs could move and the wings were just separate pieces on the back. And you could articulate the tail however you want. Kind of around those. But whatever. It's 1990, what, 4? 5? Not too bad. Looks like the show. Pretty accurate. Other than the wings, but he's got weird wings. What are you going to do? So, yeah, that's pretty much it for Lex here. He holds his crossbow. He holds his crossbow better than freaking Archer did. Remember that? Like over a month ago? Couldn't hold that thing worth a damn! You could have him... No, he can't stand with it, unfortunately. That kind of blows. Does he have peg holes on his feet, though? He does, so if you have a... let me see here. If you have a McFarlane stand, I think he will fit. It's loose, but it helps. Could pose him that way, kinda, sorta. Maybe it'd help if we put it on the other foot. Yeah, you can get him to stand, holding the crossbow up, I guess. It's not too bad. It's doable. I've certainly had worse. But, yeah. That's pretty much Lex in a nutshell. We'll take that out. So we can now take a look at some... Getting him centered here. At some comparisons. First up, here's good old Lex, and next to his noble clan leader, the mighty Goliath. Once again, as always, shout out to T-Biz for that one. And his trusty steed, question mark. I forget if Lexington kind of rode Bronx into battle, which, side note here, putting his arms up. Kind of hard to do this with the tail, but if you bend his legs in, you can almost do it. There you go. You can have him riding on his back, I guess. Not quite as cool as, say, He-Man and Battle Cat in some instances, but it's a thing. But, yeah, as you can see, Bronx is probably the most out of scale in this line. Lex I can let slide. Probably wanted to make him a little chunkier so it didn't feel like you were getting ripped off. Bronx, they gave him a giant glider. I would have kind of preferred if they just made him bigger. Because really, he seems a bit small. Or maybe Lexington's just too big. What do you guys think? And last, but certainly not least, we have our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus, and the MK11 Spawn, who as usual, towers over everyone. So with that being said, time to wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and while it may not be 100% accurate to the source material, much like many of the figures from this old Kenner Gargoyles line, I still say if you want a Lexington, to go with your NECA Goliath, because I do believe this guy is in pretty good scale with that figure right now. You know, if you don't want to wait, that is. Or if you need a Lexington for said Kenner Gargoyles collection, then by all means, this is your best bet. Do I think you need the crossbow? No, because really this is the only way he's going to stand with it, pretty much using it as a crutch. So if you can find him loose with his tail, I think that's good enough. It's nice to have the weapons, especially if they can attach to the castle playset. I can't confirm nor deny that's a thing, but maybe someday I will get that castle playset, and we will definitely do a throwback Thursday of that if my backdrop is big enough, because I gotta tell you, the Violator monster truck was kind of a bitch. I know Rider Origin wants me to do that Spawnmobile, but yeesh, please, for the love of God, do not ask me to do the Spawn Alley playset. I'm setting myself up for that one. I don't even know where the rest of that thing's accessories are right now, but yeah, that thing's kind of buried, so you're not going to get that video for a while. But at any rate, with that said, this is a really nice figure of one of the more interesting characters from Gargoyles. I think one of the less kind of talked about. I don't know. He seems like he'd be right up the modern day demographics alley, so it's kind of surprising that Disney hasn't brought Greg Weisman back as writer and started going to town on a new Gargoyles series, because if you've seen what a lot of comics and things are doing with characters nowadays as far as sexuality goes, it'd be nice to just have something that's always kind of been that way, but now they're able to explore it a little better because it's a little bit more well received. But at any rate, that's wishful thinking. I'm hoping that since X-Men and Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, and with the success of the DuckTales reboot, all those kind of reboots / continuations being as successful as they are, we'll eventually get a Gargoyles one. I would like a continuation, a proper continuation myself, but I'm down for anything Gargoyles because I'm a true fan. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this week's edition of Throwback Thursdays. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you are so inclined, please hit that notification bell so you know whenever I upload more content to the channel, because we got to show that algorithm who's boss, right? If you haven't already, hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.